All right. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plains. Jens in France stay mainly in your bonds. Good morning, everybody. How are you? All right, cool. So now I'm starting to get all these. Thank you, Google, for your high levels of security. So let me see if I can get this because now I can't. There's warnings and I can't see what you're chatting. So hey, let me try to get this. So I have to go straight to YouTube. YouTube.com/Forex.Today. And there's the live stream, and I'll view it as get it. Okay, and then I'm going to pop the chat. And then I don't think I need that window open. I do. How stupid. So anyways, hey, welcome to Forex.Today. From the American-Canadian border, I'm out in the woods, no joke, out in the woods, out in the boonies. So anyways, super happy to be here. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Sure enough, I cannot see the chat because YouTube wants to verify it's me. And of course, they can't. So that's what they're trying to do. So this is going to be fun. Oh, you can hear me not, but not very well. Let's see if I can turn the microphone up. No, microphone is max. So hopefully you can hear me. Maybe I'll speak a little louder. Anyways, so let's get on with it. 3, 2, 1. Thank you for being here. Hey, did I say the disclaimer? Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Stay small, stay humble, focus on long term. Never risk money you cannot afford to lose. So my name is Wayne McDonald. I'm a currency trader just like you. I'm on my vacation. So last week I was on the southern border of the United States. This week I'm on the northern border of the United States. So that's what the Forex trader do. But it doesn't mean you can't do your job as well. So even in the forests of northern Wisconsin, there is nothing out here. You're lucky to have cell phone access. I brought you with me. So here you are in the banquet room of a wonderful little log cabin hotel. Anyways, so thank you for being here, and thank you for Traders Way for being part of our community as well. Please show some respect and some gratitude for these free webinars, and you simply do that by visiting tradersway.com. Cool. Now check this out. Oh, and by the way, when you're at Traders Way, open up a demo account, download MT4. Okay, give them an opportunity to earn your loyalty and respect. All right, so I'm looking here at these currency pairs. What we're looking at is Japanese yen pairs. And it seems to me, I don't know, that there's some Japanese yen strength going on. So what did we talk about just a few days ago? Hey, do you remember this trade plan? We said down to 128 and some change. And maybe, this is not a prediction. Oh, wow, look at that. You can't see that. That's interesting. Hang on. Let's see if I can change this. What is it doing? It won't let me change the scene. Oh, yeah. Okay, hang on. Hang on now. Interesting. Interesting. Hang on, I'm almost there, Bubba. All right. Well, it ain't perfect, but it's all right. Let's see, I could probably expand this out a little bit. Cool. All right, that'll do, pig. That'll do. All right, cool. Oh, where's the chat? Over there. Yeah, okay. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. No, Joel. Send me an email, and I'll try to help you while I'm on vacation. Okay. So, anyways, this isn't a prediction; it's a setup. What that means is, in this case, the bearish part of the move, as we have planned, has now taken place. All right, so thumbs up for that. Very good. That part of the plan is great. Now, the next part is, hey, if this can create a double bottom, it would be logical based on um, bearish exit strategies and future bullish entry strategies. And that's what we're looking at here. So a rollover. And I'm also trying to incorporate some seasonality. I also understand based on seasonality that I'm basically not quite ready for this to reverse and go up, but it might, it could. And if it did, this is one way to maybe play it. But if you got that move down as we have planned it, okay, hey, not bad, right? Could be worse, huh? So we're right here right now. Okay. So then maybe a little rally up and then this week and then move on.com. What do you think? Pretty good? Knuckles. Okay. So let's move on to the next. Okay. You can see Kiwi has done the same. Okay. Right in here. Be careful very often. Again, for bears, this is a place where exits and reversals can happen. So Mohammed Yusuf says, is Japanese yen ready to be weak? No, but Mohammed, it's these are prices in which bears typically take profit. There's a difference. Will that, at least on the short run, weaken the Japanese yen? Yes, but not sort of fundamentally. It would be the people exiting shorts. What we're looking at is maybe for a week or two or three of them sort of re-entering and not quite getting what they want and then exiting and then trying one more time and exiting and then bulls on Kiwi yen maybe 1, 2, 3 weeks from now start entering those positions. But look, what is it, the 20th of July? It's too early for Japanese yen's weakness. Okay. But as a bear, if you're trading these trends down, you still have to know where to exit. Okay, Mohammed? Okay. Taking a look at okay, this is another example. This is the beast, and we are also hitting weekly and monthly support at the psychological level of 150. So we've definitely talked about this. I don't know if it was Friday or Thursday, but this is a key price level psychologically, medium term, shorter term. Pay attention. Okay, pay attention. Again, looks like in the next 100 pips, either right this second or 100 pips down, somewhere in that zone, that gray zone, there should be bearish profit taking. Okay, should be, quote unquote, should be. Okay, it's not a video game. People have to make decisions. Well, if they're not in the market, I mean, if they're in the market but not watching it, they're on vacation, maybe they don't necessarily get out. Anyways, let's take a look here, and we see that the dollar is remaining strong. Okay, we have a breakout to the downside. So how do you trade a breakout to the downside? Sell the next rally. Okay, you got that? Hey, what's up, Masi? What do you think about that? Okay. Okay. Trap it, break it, trade it. Okay. Okay. So definitely still a downtrend. There's no doubt about that. Take a look at euro. Okay. Also looks like a breakout. You should know how to trade a break. Okay. Let me drag it across, and you pay attention to some of these levels. Okay. Mohammed says market expecting U.S. dollar strength with taper decision. Only if it creates a carry trade, and it could, unless inflation is higher than the interest rate. Right now, we have negative interest rates in real terms, Mohammed, which means inflation is higher than the interest rate. So you don't really want to buy the 10-year T note, not for that reason. Now, it's happening, I think, based on some seasonality. So I can't argue against that idea of dollar strength on the taper decision. But if we're making macroeconomic and financial decisions, you don't want to buy something with a negative real yield, although people can do it. Ultimately, what it looks like to me is people are locking in the higher interest rate while they can. Later in the year, continue the macro play, which would weaken the US dollar. Okay. But I can tell you there's a lot of fear and anxiety around the announcement of the taper, which is strange because you know it's going to happen. So why would you be afraid of it? And in fact, since you know it's going to happen at the end of the year, if you were a $1 billion hedge fund, like, wouldn't you be thinking about it now? Wouldn't you be planning about it now? When people came back from vacation, wouldn't you position your portfolio to take advantage of it? And if so, does that actually mean dollar strength? Well, typically in a booming economy that doesn't need to be supported by um, uh, Fed emergency policies, well, then we live in an economy that is going to import more than we export, and that would create dollar weakness. Okay, but once again, hey, maybe the market is fearful and is making irrational decisions. Okay, but I don't think taper dollar strength. No. Okay, cool. So, anyways, right now we have dollar strength. It's typical this time of year. So, again, nothing too surprising. You can see much of this downward move started on the previous Fed meeting, which I had prepared you guys for well in advance. Here it is. Okay, so it moved sideways to down for almost a month and then collapsed. Okay. Question is, what's going to happen when you tickle the bottom? And you can't quite see the bottom here because I'm in the way. Let's see if I can move this separate. No. Okay. So the question is, will this play out as a bottom? Well, one way to deal with that is to market. Leave yourself a note for the future. Grab. No, let me grab. I don't know why. Am I frozen again? Frozen. MetaTrader. Yeah, I don't know why now MetaTrader's having memory hog issues. Why would MetaTrader? Hey, we're doing better than before. I'm just using different software. All right. Well, anyways, I can get out of that. Could be grateful. All right. So, anyways, yeah, dollar strong across the board, right? Aussie dollar, for example, is another place where a bear would probably want to take some profit. You see the combination way down here of weekly and monthly targets being hit. Okay. Also, you know what to do, right? When you hit a weekly target early. So for those that have done the day trading course, the swing trading course, the price action course, those that trade with pivot points, they look at this and they think, ooh, you know what to do. That's an OOP, right? Into a CT. So it doesn't mean it'll happen, especially if we're the only ones trading. Like, what kind of idiots are trading Forex in the 19th of July? Well, the young hustlers, right? Okay. So, anyways, ding, 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 ding. Okay. Ding, 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 ding. Shields up, red alert. Chand, third week of August. That's not what I wanted. Someday. All right. And so that's that. Great. Okay, great. So strong dollar hurts emerging markets. So emerging markets are likely being crushed. It's because they have to pay more for their loans. Big perm FX. VIX is probably, well, I suppose it's probably higher than you'd like, but historically probably coming down. But I imagine, and by the way, like I said, I'm in the middle of the forest traveling. I've flown, thousands of miles. I've driven hundreds of miles just in the last few days. So I'm just speaking from wild guesses, but I think the stock market would be coming down right now. And if so, that would push the VIX up, but I don't think dangerously high, because really VIX isn't a measure of volatility, and it's not true as a sentiment. Like, it's not really a sentiment of fear, but what it is that it's people buying options against their S&P 500 um, positions. They're using options to hedge. Well, if you're not in the market, you don't need a hedge. Or if you're not afraid of the market, you don't need a hedge. And so I think maybe based on the seasonality, there's an increase of options purchasing to protect people from the all-time highs. But ultimately, again, because of summer, I think it's sort of like it's just a safety net, and it wouldn't be true fear. I don't think it's fear. Okay. But do I have VIX here? No, I'm sorry. Okay. There's no VIX in the middle of the northern Wisconsin forest. What VIX? There's no VIX. Yeah, I'll get your VIX right here, huh? So, anyways, sorry, bud. Take a look at Bitcoin. I think I'm still in this trade. Oh, yeah. Hanging on. Slowly but surely coming down. It's still there. Mohammed says, do you think COVID can create unexpected shock and create no. No, I think we're past that. Okay. Okay. So right now it comes down to like the typical world. If you're rich, you got what you need to succeed. If you're not rich, you're screwed. So every American that wants to be vaccinated has been vaccinated. That's it. If you don't want to be vaccinated, you're not vaccinated. That's it. In other countries, you're like, could I please have a vaccination? No. Hey, if I paid you 10,000 US dollars, will you vaccinate me? No. because right. So, uh, but that's how the world's been working for a very long time. So, could other countries face that type of risk? Look, think of it this way, and maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to preach on efficacy and stuff. But let's just think of it this way: more than half of Americans have been vaccinated. They wanted to get vaccinated. They've been vaccinated, which means now you're reasonably immune. Not 100% immune, but reasonably immune. Then the other half of Americans have chosen not to get vaccinated. But that other half of America, what percentage has already, even though they're not vaccinated, what percentage has been exposed to COVID over the last 18 months? 100% of them? Of which what? A small percentage got sick and stayed home for a couple of days. Other people have been exposed, never really got sick, but still were exposed, probably multiple times because they don't wear masks and all that kind of stuff. They live normal lives. Like I was in Florida, man, and like to them, COVID never existed. It was just some stupid government scare tactic, right? So people are like, they weren't even interested. They were anti-vaccination. So they've been exposed, there's no doubt. So they get it in their immune system takes a record of it and says, yes, this stuff's bad, fight it. Others get sick, they go home for 3 or 4 days and they're like, wow, it's kind of like getting a flu. Then they get their immune system takes a picture of COVID and now they can fight it. And then a small percentage goes to the hospital, gets put on ventilators, they probably vaccinate them, send them home. And then there are the percentage that never get sick. So, like, what's the risk of America getting another shutdown? I don't know. If you're in Southern California, great. That's likely going to happen. Most places in America, I don't think so. You got to remember, like, I've visited. Let's see. I've been in the last week. I've been in Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Illinois, and I guess Wisconsin. That's it. So I've been in 6 states in the last 6 days, right? And I get to talk to a lot of people, which is right. This is a great way to collect economic data. But what's the chances of the whole world gets shut down because of COVID? No, but I can tell you, if you want a job, I can introduce you to probably 100 businesses that will hire you today. Okay, I could probably introduce you to 10,000 businesses that'll hire you today. I talked to the woman running the front desk here last night. She was helping me get all set up for today's meeting. Um, and I talked to her, and she's like, she's waitressing at the um, at the local bowling alley, and she's like, I've never waitressed and been a waitress in my entire life, but they're so short of staff that if she doesn't help them out, you remember that I'm in a tiny, tiny, tiny little town. It's tiny, right? And she's like, if I don't help, they will go out of business because there's no one there. They don't even have a waitress because no one is showing up to work. No one, there's 6 people basically running my whole hotel. The restaurant is full, packed. They have really good food here. So the whole town and all the tourists from all around, they come and get their big steaks and stuff. Like it's $30 steaks here, right? Pretty good for a nowhereville town. And you can't get waitresses. You can't get waiters, you can't get cooks, you can't get dishwashers, you can't get someone to run the front desk. And then while all these people hold this whole hotel together, they're also working other jobs to hold the rest of the town together. So I think that's a bigger threat to America. And, you know, once again, I blame the government for that. That's not economics, that's not capitalism. The government got in the way and screwed things up and made it way worse than COVID, in my opinion. Okay? Amazing. And so of the United States, now I'm in the northern border and it's the same thing. If you want a job at this hotel, just come in. Okay. You want to work at the restaurant, just come in. You want to work the bowling alley, just come in. Just anybody. Every gas station I've pulled into, they need shift people, like work at the cash register, all that kind of stuff. Every gas station is willing to hire you. If you can drive a big truck that can carry the gasoline, they'll hire you right now and they'll give you bonuses. Just drive the truck. Just in the morning or probably at night, they fill it full of gas and you go to a bunch of gas stations and you unload the gasoline. Boom, you can have a job right now. Okay, amazing. Than COVID. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, I got a check, or we got a letter that we're going to get a check or something. Like really strange. Does anybody know about this? Apparently, the government passed something. If you get $300 per child, and I'm like, what do we get this for? We're not sure. And it says we make too much money, but we are going to get a check. Does anybody know about this? American is going to get $300 per child. I don't even know what it's for. Have you guys, anybody know about this? I'm like, what are we going to do with this? I don't know why. I'm like, oh my God. I would never pay someone to have a kid, by the way. Hey, you want more money? Have more kids. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Settle down, right? So, Richard, if you want a job, come to America. Anyway, so nobody knows about that. So I don't know what it's for, but we just got this letter. I'm like, what are we going to do with this? Crazy the amount of money being handed out. Negligent, actually. Okay. All right. And so we already did this. This is the same thing from a different point of view. I guess what I wanted to do quickly is look at exotics, and you can see that this is climbing once again. And the danger here is it's kicking off the daily 21. So the danger is this goes significantly higher. I hope not, is how I look at this. It'd be great if the R1 was the top and we kind of work our way back down to 13 and change, or actually 13 and a half. But I don't know, man, we're being propped up. Remember, based on technical analysis, we're staring at this 2155 cross, which tells us, technically speaking, the daily chart is bullish. Perm says it's a new TV. Yeah. Well, I don't have many TVs in my house, but they're worth more than 300 bucks. Yeah, Richard says, "Hey man, I'm already running a sweet life as a forex trader, but I don't mind the extra income. I like that. You got to have a side hustle. I'm telling you." Excuse me. In the beginning, the secret sauce to your success is how long can you go without spending the money in your forex account? Yeah, Oliver says more kids, more money. I don't like that at all. I don't like it. I don't like it. All of it's bad. Okay. It never leads to anything good. I know some people need the money. That's great. Help them out. Um, Paying people have kids, not good. Giving everybody, including rich people, free money. See, here's what I think is happening. 3% of Americans need money. Maybe let's say 5. Maybe even let's say 10. 10% of Americans need help because they can't help themselves. The government can't discriminate. So to help out the 10%, they give money to 100% of people. And that's just dumb. It's just straight up dumb. The government is, and I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, in these types of things, the government is completely inept. And this is we're at crazy points now, dangerous levels of craziness. So again, I've walked across of America and the whole economy is in turmoil because people are paid to stay at home, and that's BS. And the people that are working very, very hard, extra hard. They're very, very stressed, and they're doing it out of personal dignity, but out of pride for their their town, their employer. I was in Chicago. We're staying at this big, beautiful hotel, and they're struggling to keep up. And I talked to the head guy hanging out at the rooftop deck, right? And they're scrambling. And so he's the oldest guy there, so I'm talking with him, and he's like, "I've worked at this hotel for 30 years, right?" And he's like, he's doing entry level jobs, managing people, running around. He's acting as a waiter. He's working weekends, nights, and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, "Look, they've taken care of me for 30 years, and now they're desperate." And he's like, "I'm taking care of them." Isn't that cool? But like hotels in Chicago are scrambling. Hotels in Florida, northern Wisconsin are scrambling. The restaurants are scrambling. The bars are scrambling. Just like it's crazy. It's really bad. It's no matter no every town in America, and it's all government created. It's amazing. As an economist, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. It's crazy. And what a great opportunity to talk to so many people. I'm very, very grateful to have talked to so many people to see how policy is impacted them personally. Okay. Oh, Bradley's in at the T Dub. Right on. Welcome to the family. Oh, so you don't live in the United States? Yeah. Well, then you can't work here. Simple enough. Here's how you get a job in America. Um, get a degree or a certificate from a decent university in artificial intelligence and machine learning, then apply for jobs in the United States in that sector. And they will give you, if you're a student, like a J1 visa, um, or you can get an H1B visa, and they'll hire you instantly. They'll take care of the immigration. Right, they'll get you the visa, don't worry. If you know that stuff, boom. So again, guys, the secret to life is if you want $1 million, if you want $1 million. So like I'm on this, um, we're in Chicago on the river, and this guy goes by in a big boat, and I heard someone else, forget where it came from, but somebody said like, must be nice to have money. I'm like, look, that boat's only $1 million. And I'm like, you know what, you don't even have to buy the boat. And I looked it up for $4,000. You can rent the boat with the captain and cruise up and down the river. I'm like, it's $4,000. How do you get $4,000? You create $20,000 worth of value. People will always pay you for that. So if you want to work in the United States and get a high paying job, find a way to be valuable. And right now, if you want a job in America, well, you can work in a restaurant kitchen. They'll hire you, but if you're not American and you don't have a visa, well, now you have to convince like Apple Computer to hire you and move you here and take care of all the legal work, which is probably $100,000 for them. Hey, don't worry about it. Just be valuable. They need machine learning and artificial intelligence programmers. Cool. Be one of those. It'll just take you a year. You can go to, you can probably get a certificate, right? So the way I was thinking, like, I wish, and it was just somebody passing by or something. I can't remember, but I wish, like, I told them, like, dude, pick up a computer, install MT4, start trading. It's $4,000 a day to rent that boat that you think, you say to yourself, oh, it must be nice to be rich. No, 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 no. Somebody created a lot of value for somebody else. I feel like telling people, like, look at all these skyscrapers around us. There's businesses inside of these buildings, and these businesses create value for their customers. So the customers might pay them $1 million. Why? Because they created $5 million. And then what? That company that got paid $1 million has profit left over after paying for the employees and paying for everything else and paying for the rent and the skyscraper, had a profit, and they shared that with their owners, right? Like, it's great. Like, you can have that boat if you want, earn it, create the value. That's what I like about capitalism. Just earn it. Dude, it's only $4,000 a day. Hey, look, you say, well, that's a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of money if it's every day, but what, every once every 10 years, once every 5 years? And the boat's big enough where you can have 20 people on board. So if you break it down per person, it's actually not that much. What if you did a family reunion? Everybody get on the boat. We're going up the Chicago River, right? Hey, it's epic. But you have to find out a way to earn it, create value. Gamble doesn't create value. Okay, gambling doesn't create value. But it's a game of chance. So we have to put things together on our Forex charts to say, where do I get the value? How do I create value? And that's where you do analysis. That's the first part of your value creation. What does the analysis tell you? The analysis tells you what the market is doing right now. I would say, look, I see this chart based on my technical analysis. Since June 10th, there's been a lot of dollar strength relative to the Swiss franc. And which is funny because M3 says down, central pivot says up, and we're right in the middle. So we're actually kind of neutral. That's where we are now. This was a bullish market. Now it's sort of neutral. There's still a lot of chance that this can continue up, but right now it'd be not a great place to buy. All right, cool. Now that's the first part of the value creation. Is this the right time and price to be buying or selling? Maybe, maybe not. The next value creation part, which is probably the more important part, is where are we going to be at the end of the year? Because a client's not going to like talk to you today and say, well, talk to me. Why should we be trading USD Swiss franc? It's never a question. They're going to ask you, where are we going to be at the end of the year? How will the taper affect me? Where will the stock market be 12 months from now? Should I be buying more stocks? If so, what stock should I buy? Should I buy international stocks? Should I rotate from growth to value or value to growth? Like, what should I be doing, right? And so most of your questions when you're working with clients is out in the future. So that's the next part of the value. The client doesn't care what's happened today. And by the way, if you have a client like that wants to call you twice a day, every day to see how their trades are going, get rid of that client. Okay. 200 pips bagged. That sounds good. Okay. So everything, right? Think of it. You want to be on a beautiful yacht in beautiful Chicago on a beautiful July day, cruising down the river on just great. It's only $4,000. Go to your charts, create 20,000 in value. Okay. That means, and that means you might be the type of person where you're in a forest, hundreds and hundreds of miles away from the nearest city, in a tiny little town or a tiny little cabin. And you meet with the staff of the hotel and you say, I know we're in the middle of nowhere. I know the internet connection's bad. I can see your Wi-Fi is terrible. But I have to have access to the internet. And I need a special room closer to your Wi-Fi. Where can we do this? And they're like, well, what about this other small room that we check it out? No. How about this other room? No. We were talking about me doing my live stream from the gym. And I'm like, I can't be in a gym. I need a table. Okay, well, maybe you can work in our office. Maybe you can work here. Let's go talk to the people at the restaurant. And all of a sudden, 6 different people about how can I have internet access at 7 o'clock in the morning, which means I need access to the room at 6:30. Where can I be in the hotel at 6:30 in the morning so I can do a live stream, or more specifically, have access to my charts, have access to my Forex charts, so I can create value. And then, of course, wake up at 5:30 in the morning on my vacation, shit, shower, and shave, grab my stuff, grab my bag, grab my 3 screens, and walk down to the room by 6:30 in the morning. I've been given my private key to get in the room. I set up, plug in, connect, and I'm here with you. That's a ridiculous, sickening work ethic, isn't it? And that's part of the value creation. Now, yes, I'm doing a live stream and this is fun and entertaining, but would you do that to stay connected to the market? Would you do that to stay connected to the market? Okay. Hey, a week ago I was in Florida. We connected. I was involved with the market. Here we are on the Canadian border in the middle of the woods. Okay, boom. I've done this from South Africa, from Hong Kong, from China, from Paris, from London, from Toronto, from just amazing, right? Like amazing. I've taken you over the last 15 years all over the world. I never stop creating value. And as a currency trader, it's staying in tune with the market. No matter what, no matter where you go, you're plugged in. Okay. Wait, Wardy says you got 25 pips on USD yen? Really, Wardy? That's a lot for USD yen, even in a good market. Kidding. You sure? 25 pips? Really? Dude, that's like 25% of the average daily range. That's crazy. You sure? Let's check this out. Let's see. 15-minute candle. So it dropped from what, 9, 10? No, dude. So where are we now? We're at 50 and you were saying it was at 75? Well, dude, that was like an hour ago for you. That's a lot for USD yen, even on a good day. That's a lot. Yeah. Okay. I look at this and say, there's another 50 pips below us and there would be hardcore support. I think right now, even just 10 pips below us is probably enough for today. And tomorrow we'll drop the next range. Okay. Sean says, hey, thanks, man. Really appreciate it. Hey, you know what? I don't know. I want you guys to succeed. And I remember in the beginning, and it's just my personality. If you show me how to behave or what to do, like just if you show me, I'll very quickly say, okay, I got it. I'm gonna go do it myself, right? And off I go. It's nice to have someone just show me the way. I don't need someone to do it, and I don't need a long explanation, but just I want to see what needs to get done, and then I can do it better or whatever, right? So I think a lot of what I do is just showing you the right way, the right path, and I know you can just pick up from there and go. And so now, if you've been with me for the last 10 or 15 years, you're like, you know what to do. You bring your laptop when you go on vacation. You never get sick, and even if you do, you trade. When you're on vacation, you trade. Okay, you're always working, and I don't think it's a big sacrifice. And now it's part of my personality. I've been in this situation a million times. All of a sudden, like, look at me. I'm in a banquet room, and I had to arrange for this last night. I got the key to the banquet room. I have the key to the banquet room because nothing is going to stop me from accessing my charts. Okay. And that's it. And now you'll say, well, my mentor, Wayne, was ridiculous, right? He had a ridiculous, sickening work ethic. And that inspired me to do things like bring my laptop on vacation. If I've had that positive, now you might say, Wayne, I would never do that. That's not a positive thing. Well, I'm leading by example, and you can take it or not take it. But now you can always say, I know what a ridiculous, sickening work ethic looks like, and that's cool to me. I like that. And maybe it has a positive impact on you, or maybe it doesn't. Yeah, yeah. That 50 pip drop on USD yen, that's a lot because the average daily range is typically less than 100, sometimes close to 80. So to get 50 pips on that is a big deal. Hey, what's up, Johnny? All right, what's going on here? Really slowing down. Come on, man. Okay, let's take a look at gold. Where's my XAU, Bubba? Sam's like, hey, I like your attitude and approach. Awesome. Thanks for being on my team, Sammy. Okay. Now imagine you're managing other people's money. It's a story you can tell, right? It's a story that you can tell. So you're meeting with a potential investor, and they're like, what, tell us about yourself. Why would I invest into you and your trading firm and not somebody else? You're like, you know what? When I first started trading and learning the markets and learning how to behave and act as a trader, my mentor, Wayne, always brought a ridiculous, sickening work ethic. And he showed me no matter where in the world he was, and he traveled a lot, right? Whether he was here or there and somewhere else, just all over the world, he always had his laptop. He always logged in. He always had access to the markets. He was always plugged in. And it right? Didn't matter. Tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, lightning storms, just it didn't matter where on the planet or what was going on. He was always plugged in. And that's how I learned how to trade. That's me in a nutshell. I will not turn my back on the markets. Your money will never go unprotected and uncared for, right? And they're like, wow, but that's good, right? That's part of your story now. That's part of your origin story. What kind of trader are you? You're that kind of trader. Anyways, cool. So gold, let's throw this onto a 4 hour. There's that bottom, huh? Look at that. That's interesting. Okay, the first part is the double bottom, but you can probably see a role reversal, and it's really tricky because we got resistance up here, but this is definitely support down there. Okay, so that's interesting if you're bullish. Okay, that's interesting. Interesting. Okay, that's interesting too. Cool. That's interesting, huh? All right, so we'll mark that for the future if we're down there. But here's what I'd like to see. I don't know if it's now, but by the end of the year, you know, up again. Right on. I like stories like that. 4.5 years and you're still going hard. Hey, cool. Okay. Remember, all you need to do is somewhere between, let's say, 2.5% and 5% a month, and you got yourself a sustainable business. I want you to always think that way. 2.5 to 5% a month, and you will have a sustainable, productive business that will always be attractive. Okay. Okay, let's do some oil. Okay, beautiful. R1 to S1. Where's the S1? It's coming up, right? So 68.5. Okay, 68.5, probably the bottom here. Okay, what we're looking at is an R1 S1 inside month, which is typical for July. Oh, hey, Jimmy. Hey, welcome to the forests of northern Wisconsin. Really cool. They have a lot of eagles around here. You're like, wow, bald-headed eagles everywhere. You're like, wow, those are nice birds. We get them once in a while on my lake, but once a year. Yeah, they're everywhere here. They're like crows. Anyway, so I'm looking at this as a bottom up. What do you think? Okay. Right now, CAD's likely to be weak, and you don't want to get in the way of that. Oh, well, here's a great way to kind of finish off here. Okay. There's the weakness. Okay. Down to the central pivot point. Okay. As you know, in the first few days, we hit this. So by July 5th, we're down here, July 6th. Okay. So as a bull, we open out a position. You can wait for the drop. Okay. Or you trade the 21, either way. Ideally, you catch the central pivot or the M2. But, anyways, early in the month, okay, you're able to catch this down at the monthly central. And based on that information, your target is 127.75. We hit that. We stretched out an Arctic turtle to 128 and it stopped. Boom, done. Nice trade. Okay. So that is done to me. Done and dusted. Wash your hands clean. This doesn't mean down, but it does mean out. By the end of the year, of course, I would like this to be down. So I'm thinking in the next 3 weeks that we probably double top at 128, or maybe we hit 130 and then that's the top of the year. Cool. So I'm not ready to sell. You could, but that's a counter trend stop hunting type. That time today, I only have time for day trading and swing trading. So in that case, don't really have that off-dollar time frame. Or you wait, like I said, wait for a double top. If not here, then a little higher up at 130, and then that will be the top for our year. And between, the third week of the third week of August and the third week of December, we're basically selling rallies. I look at this and I'm like, okay, that pattern is done. So I have to look at it this way. The pattern is done. The pattern is here to here. Okay. Look, this is out of my swing trading course, by the way. Okay. The pattern says this predicts that. So now that we've hit that, I'd like to think that that whole move is done. And it's basically going to move sideways until the new money comes in the market. And they're like, oh, dude, are we at 128? So, okay. Now, in the back of my mind, not the back of my ear, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, why not go up, hit 130, tickle that, make that the top, and then bring it down? So that could be, to make that happen, is we come back down. Let's say we drop back to 126. Hey, we're at 127.50, so that's a 150 pip drop. Then it rallies from 126.50. Okay, yeah. So let's say it rallies then from 126 all the way to 130 over the course of August. And then around the middle of August, that whole move comes back around. Okay, so I'm open-minded to that. I don't see it here. All I see is bulls getting out. And for them, to everybody else, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May our profits be above average. I'll see you tomorrow. Again, hello from the Canadian border. Right now I'm